Welcome to a Cincy fan talking with LP. And once again, it's your boy LP. Sounds nice, sounds nice. Got the music going, got the cheering going on. It's all good. It's all good. Welcome back to a Cincy fan talking, y'all. Appreciate y'all sticking and staying through my little hiatus. I guess you could call it that. And real talk is it's been busy for the kid. You know, you got state testing going on, so everybody in a panic about that. Not yours truly for real, cause I think the whole testing thing is bogus. But got to get the kids ready for that. Everybody's scrambling around doing this and that, and it's a whole thing. The whole teaching thing is different from what you remember. Like for my for my fans about my age, school is different. It really is. It doesn't look like it used to. I can say it like that. But made it through. Uh, it's been a weird week. It feels like the full moon has just been up for like 2 months or so. It's just been like that. Weird things have been happening to me. It feels like back when I first started podcasting and COVID was running rampant. I was just starting off. I would just have a segment telling people what I did in that week because every single week weird stuff will happen to me, like the weirdest stuff. Like I watched somebody steal an entire case of hand sanitizer. You know the hand sanitizer you use at the U scans to clean your hands and stuff. Somebody just stole a whole thing. I just watched them steal it, and I'm looking like, really? I had no clue what life was about to become. I should have known from that moment. And things have been happening lately that kind of make me feel like weird stuff is about to just happen to all of y'all. So I'm gonna have y'all walk with me for a second to just kind of let y'all know, give y'all two instances of the weirdness that is the life of LP. We're still reviewing teacher movies. I got a good one for you. I got a banger, but y'all not gonna hear it here. I'm gonna drop it separately, so I don't talk for like an hour and a half or something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and start splicing these up a little bit for y'all, cause I got the feedback. Some people like, I kind of want that separate. I'm like, I got you. We can do that. The Reds doing it big nowadays. The Bengals are. Look, I'm too excited about the Bengals right now. I'm like shaking in excitement. And y'all know I don't even like the draft. So talking about the Bengals right now is just awesome. So we're gonna get into a whole lot of stuff sports wise. We're gonna talk a little bit about this whole teaching thing. But just walk with me, y'all. Like just walk with me for a second. So it's uh, it's around Easter, something like that. And you know how it is when you're having family coming in. We had the fam from Charlotte coming up, kicking it with us for the weekend. Real good time. Got to see the nieces and the nephews, and that's always awesome. You know how that go. That night before, you got the food and stuff, but that's on deck for the next day and the day after that. We in the house starving. Nobody wants to eat up all of the food. I ain't hopped on the grill yet to get the grill going for everybody. So we a little needy in the house. So I'm like, you know what? And I normally don't drop restaurant names, but it's kind of important for what's going on. I'm like, you know what? I'll hit the neighborhood Popeyes. It's right down the street. I can get a whole lot of chicken for the fam. Everybody like the sides. Popeyes will do you right. Customer service wise, it's always dicey. But lately, they kind of switched up people and they've been on the ball. So I'm like, I'll fall on the sword for us. I'll wait in that ridiculous long line. I got us. Drive up. Nobody's really in line. And I should have known something was a little amiss because it's just like three or four dudes. I mean, they look like teenagers, maybe a little bit older. I'm gonna say they was like teenagers. They just kind of kicking it in front of a light pole that's next to a car, and I'm looking like, who chill next to the Popeyes? Who kick it next to the Popeyes? We at Pop Easy's just kicking it, but I paid no man. Now, important to the story, I paid ahead of time. Use the app, got a little discount or whatever. I pay ahead of time. I pull up, tell them my name. They say they got the order ready for me. Now, I start driving to the window. As soon as I start pulling up towards the window, this this car just peels ahead of me, y'all. Just zooms ahead of me, hops in front of me and gets to the window before me. I'm like, yeah, that's strange. What's going on? So I'm just kind of looking. So they get to the window or whatnot, and the guy that's at the window, he sticks a bag out, and my spidey senses kind of go up. I'm like, they got the order up for them mighty fast. Like the guy in the car, he started talking to him, whatever. Like, yeah, so I couldn't hear what he was saying because I'm a little bit far ahead. I'm a little far behind. So they started talking, and the cashier dude passed them their food. I'm looking like that's a lot of stuff. That looked like my order. So I pull up, and they say, "What you need?" I'm like, "I need my order." I tell him my name, and as soon as I saw the look on his face when I said my name, I'm like, "Y'all gave away my food. Y'all really just gave away my food, didn't y'all?" I said that. I was like, "They got my food, don't they?" Because the car, like, it sped quickly once they got the food, and I'm like, "Oh, I think they got me." I pull up, and they looking at me like I'm talking Greek. I'm like, "Yeah, that's my order," and they say my name. I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." I was like, "Y'all just gave away my food. Y'all gave away my food." They're like, "Oh man, yeah, we did." And I'm looking like, wow. Now, in their defense, and this is just me being honest about it, in their defense, maybe it was hard for them to know that it was me. I mean, they never really seen me before. It was new people working or whatever, and I hadn't been to Popeyes in a long time. But on the other hand, I'm like, y'all don't go over the order with the people. Like you ordered this, like you just heard me. I was a little salty. They was real good about it. They remade my order and everything. They got all the stuff in there. I had to wait like 25 minutes. I had to like drive other places, come back. But I'm like, they really just played me. They really took my order. That has never happened to me in the history of me driving through places and picking up food. I've never had that happen. I talked to a couple of homies and they was like, man, that happened to me a couple of times. Like, you really got to be on it. I'm like, dang, that's never happened. I'm like, do I just not use apps to pay for stuff now? Like, is that what we on? So I was talking to dude. I'm like, I mean, that can't happen again. I'm a little salty. And they like, nah, it's my bad. And I'm just being real with them. I'm like, y'all was kind of in a whole spot. Like, for real, because I just gave my order. They pulled up super fast. Okay, y'all didn't know it was me. And looking back on it, I feel like it was the same four dudes. I feel like they was just casing the joint, looking for chicken to steal. Hey, if you listening to this message and you happen to be a fan of mine, like you did me bad. Like you real hungry and poor. Like that's ridiculous. We stealing chicken. That's what we doing. We stealing chicken. Come on. I'm like, this can't be life. I went home, told everybody in the house about it. They looking like, wow. Like I know you cussed them out. I'm like, how can I cuss them out? If I'm being real, they got played just like I got played. Like for real. I mean, I'm a little salty at them, but I can't really throw all the salt at them because I just said I paid for the order. 2 seconds later, somebody come up and they're like, "Yeah, I got the order." They could have asked my name. They could have verified it one more time at the checkout. They could have been like, "Okay, who's the order for again?" They could have said, and maybe they're gonna start doing that. But I can't put all the head on them. It's some poor people out there stealing chicken. I was salty. Luckily, they didn't give me any flack at all. They was like, okay, our bad, and they remade the whole order for me. I appreciate it. They threw in a couple of extra pies too, so that was cool. I appreciated that. I ain't want it like that though. Like I was a little salty. So I'm like, okay, that's one of those like weird things. So I'm in school a couple of days later. I got my class, they're about to go ahead and come in line, and all of a sudden, three or four of the boys in front of the line just start laughing real hard and pointing at me. And I've been in the game for a long time. It's not too much a kid can say to me that'll make me super self conscious. That don't really happen. That was year two LP. That was year three, four LP. Year 18 LP. I see people giggling and I go like, hmm, you must really think the kid is cool, huh? You must really think Mr. LP is the man. Sure you do. Why you give me so much attention? What's that about? Like, come on, I'm here to teach. Come on, man. I don't want to be the. I don't want to steal all the shine. Like, I don't want to be awesome. I'm just like this. I'm good. I'm good at doing stuff like that. But it was the way the kids was laughing. I'm like, what we doing right now? They teeing like laughing, and I'm like, so what we laughing at, y'all? What's funny? Hey, man, he getting on your shoes, and I'm like, eh, really? I've never been a guy that's like a shoe hawk. Like I've never been like a sneakerhead. That's never been my thing. I'm not the one with like 75 pairs of Jordans in the crib. I don't really do that. But at the same time, my shoe game has stepped up immensely as an adult. My shoe game was not good as a kid. It's not something I cared about. Like, in the house growing up, we had more important stuff to spend our money on than shoes. Now I knew a lot of people that's like, I would never go outside unless I got yours, this, that, and the third. That was the thing in the hood. I was lucky enough to go to a high school where nobody really cared about that stuff. It was like, dude, you really got shamed if you had bad grades. That's the type of school I went to as a kid. So it was cool. I wasn't really big on fashion. But as an adult, I'm like, I got the money. So I go ahead and buy some J's. Or the wife would buy me some J's or something like that. I'm good with that. So I pretty much wear Jordans to school every day. Not as a flex, but more like it's just kind of what I do. So that's what I'm wearing. I'm like, we laughing at these shoes? That's what we doing? Oh no, he said Joe Jordan's was fake. I'm like, who said that? And they started pointing to the little man that said that. And I'm like, I was about to let it go. I look down at the little man feet and I'm like I made a face. And as soon as I looked down and made the face, I felt kind of bad because some of the kids started snickering a little bit. But I looked at his shoes. Little man really wearing a pair of bowling shoes. I kid you not, y'all. Little man is wearing a pair of bowling shoes. They super beat up. They gray. They have no ankle support whatsoever. They pointy at the top. I'm like, I'm never out here to make fun of kids or nothing like that. I don't know what situation. But I'm like, you call there's no way you call it attention to my feet with your feet looking like that. There's no way. So, not thinking, I walk up to him. I put my feet next to his feet and I just looked at him and walked away. The class lost it. Lil man, and I gotta give it to him. Lil man he was such a good sport. He told me later he was like, I kind of had that one coming. He was such a good sport. It kind of gave me a flashback to like when I was teaching about 5 or 6 years ago, and you had well, I would say 7, 8 years ago, where it was kids that you could just bust on, like, and you can't get mad if they give it back to you. Like because some of these kids real slick with the words. So every now and again I'll be like, yeah, you got that one. I'm about to write you up. What? Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Then I had to tell him like that. It reminded me of that because little man was like, yeah, I had that coming. He was like, I didn't think you was gonna say nothing when I said it, Mr. P. I didn't think you was gonna say. I thought you was gonna let it go. I ain't think you was gonna come back. I'm like, you didn't expect me to spin the block. I get it. I gave him a high five at the end. I'm like, you a real one. You a real one for taking that. He was just sitting there as they was laughing, and he was just shaking his head like, yeah, Teach got me. He said he was like, Teach got me. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I wouldn't have said a word. I'd have just went about my day and got my A in my class. Like, you really tried to bring an extra layer. I'm like, like I had tears coming out of my eyes because his friends, I'm like, these really your friends. They just kept it going for a good couple of minutes. Like, oh, he said you on the pro bowling tour. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, hey, he said you could slice bread with the tip of your shoes. Like they was really going hard, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, these your homies. Like, watch who you call your homies. Like, it was just a type of week where weird stuff just kept happening to me. I'm like, it's been a long time since a kid really tried me, cause you can't really do that stuff with kids no more. Like you really can't. Like out here, kids like snickering about me every now and again. I'd be like, nah, it's a different time. Like you come at these kids, you come back, and next thing you know, like they calling mom, like he talked about me, and I'm like, did he leave out the one part? Like it's not like it was. So I very rarely step into stuff like that. But I I had to go back into what I do because I'm like, wowzers. It was just one of those weeks, man. Um, it kind of makes the whole year go by a little bit quicker though, cause I am anxious to get summer started. Like this year, feel like it's just been so long. But luckily, we got stuff like sports as a distraction. The Cincinnati Reds, I don't know if they doing it with smoke and mirrors or what, but they in first place, 16-10. They just took an L, but so far the season is going great. And the thing is, I talked about this all last summer, how the Reds found a way to lose games. They, I'm sure they had like a dart board, and they just throw the little dart at the board and go like, okay, so this time we gonna pick up a 10-run lead and then find a way to lose it. Okay, the next night we're gonna lose 2-1. We're gonna be up 1-0 and give up 2 runs in the ninth. Okay, the next game we're gonna be up 5-0. Then we're gonna go down 10-5. Then we're gonna score 7 runs and go up 12-10, and then lose it in the ninth and lose 13-12. They was really on that last summer. They found a way to make the playoffs, ran into the Dodgers. Yikes. But that's what it was last summer. This year they are 10-0 in one run games. Ugh. They are 10-0 in one run games. That's amazing. I don't know how long it took them last year to find the 10th one run win. I gotta look that up. People hating on that like y'all run differential trash. Y'all getting lucky, but I feel like we just kind of reverting back to the norm because the Reds lost so many games like that last year. At some point, that stuff got to turn. You got to get those back. So, shout out to the Reds. I mean, hopefully they just have us watching over the summer because there have been so many summers where I just checked out of the Reds. Like 25 games under 500, 15 games out of first place. Like nobody checking for that in July. So hopefully it's all good. Got to take the kid up there. She doesn't really care about the game. She just wants to eat the food at the stadium. She just want to eat stadium hot dogs and whatnot. And I respect that. I watch the game. She'll act like she know what's going on, and she don't. she she just want to eat. Respect. Really, I'm on some Bengal stuff. And y'all know how I feel about this time of the year. Y'all know how overhyped I feel the draft is. I don't understand why so many people. Now, let me rephrase. It's exciting to see your team do stuff to make their team better, especially in the off season where it's like perpetual hope, and every draft pick that they pick up is a W, and your team nailed the draft, and you kind of measuring your draft against other people, knowing that you know nothing about 90% of the people that they picked up. I'm okay with that. It's the spectacle that bothers me. Man, growing up, the draft was like one day. A day. That's how long the draft was. They did it in New York City. They had some rowdy fans in there, but for the most part, that draft went through quick fast. Then somebody got the notion, like, you know what? What we should do is we should just run the first couple of rounds one day, and then just run the rest of the rounds the next day. Alright, I can get with that. Then it was like, hey, you know what? We should move the draft to different cities. Why? And you got people driving 5, 6 hours to get to the draft to stand there and listen to a whole lot of people who you've never heard before. That's weird. 100,000 people in one spot at one time to stand 95,000 feet away from the stage to hear names called you don't know. That's weird. And now they only do the first round one day. Then they do the second and third rounds the other day. Then they do rounds 4 through 7. It's too much. It's overkill. Like, step back and really think about it. I know we got a whole lot of football heads out there, but you don't think that's too much? A little bit. But that's what it is now. The NFL is king. So they found a way to get as much money as possible out of that. So y'all know how I feel about the draft. So for me to be this hyped up about the Bengals must mean they did something awesome. Y'all, we've been screaming for this for so many years. I'm so glad Joe Burrow is dragging our team into the light, into the modern era. The Bengals traded their first round draft pick, which is the 10th draft pick overall, and got Dexter Lawrence the second. Now, y'all been listening to the pod. I know I got my A1 day ones out there. Y'all been listening to the pod for years. And you know what I've been saying for years? We cannot stop the run at Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals get ran through like Swiss cheese. The Bengals get ran through like the Bengals get ran through like dudes sped through the drive through and took my food. That's how the Bengals get ran through. Oh, I'm laughing at my own pain. I'm still salty at y'all, Popeyes thieves. But yeah, that's how the Bengals get ran through. It's awful. And if you look at the draft, you got people that can help with that, but they're not first round worthy. You don't have a person that you can draft 10th overall that can be a run stopper. You just don't. So if it's not there, you go and pay for it. The really good slash great slash amazing teams, they take chances. They take risk. You have to. Like, if you want to get something you never had before, you're probably gonna have to do something you've never done before. That's how it is. That's how life goes. So the Bengals made a move. And of course, the talking heads had a lot to say about it. I don't really even listen to talk radio, but I was curious, and they gave me what I wanted to hear. Bengals hate, because that's what it is. You got a whole lot of people that don't watch Bengals games, that don't listen to Bengals chatter. They only hear about the Bengals stuff when the Bengals lose. Or they got a take that's like 5 to 7 years dated. People are talking about the Bengals don't spend money. The Bengals just pay for Joe Burrow's contract. They just pay for Jamar Chase's contract. They just pay for T. Higgins' contract. What are you talking about? And then people are like, the Bengals made the most boneheaded decision ever. How could you give away a pick that high for somebody who only probably needed a second and third round pick? 20% agree with that. Maybe they overpaid. If the only argument is that they overpaid for Dexter Lawrence, I would agree with most of that. They probably didn't have to jump as high as they did to get him. But if you really need something, you're gonna pay more for it. The kids in my social studies class, because I teach math and social studies, the kids in my social studies class, they're learning about supply and demand right now. And the number one rule is very simple. I told the kids this and they didn't believe me. I was like, however much somebody's willing to pay for something, that's the price. And they were like, so you telling me that if you're trying to buy like a stick of gum, that could be $5? I'm like, let me tell y'all a quick story. In the school I was at before, I watched a girl buy a stick of gum from a boy for $5. And they're like, nah, you lying, you lying. I'm like, I'm not. Think about the situation. Gum and candy was not allowed at the school. If you had gum and you got found with it, it was an automatic detention. Automatic. So, nobody really had gum. Lil man was out here selling gum. Selling gum. Like, really getting stuff done. And he's like, look, I got this. And he had like a stick or two left. And I'm watching it play out and I'm looking like, is she really about to pay for that? She really about to pay for that? And she's like, I got five. And he's like, okay, that's crazy. But when you think about it, the price was $5 because she was willing to pay $5. The first round draft pick that the Bengals gave up, that was the price for that team because the Bengals really needed a run stopper. There's not one in the draft they can pick that high. And the Bengals are working on a win now window. The Bengals have missed the playoffs for the last 3 years. And that's coming off making it to the Super Bowl and then making it to the AFC Championship game in back to back years. So you put all this stuff together, and it makes sense that you would get probably the best defensive tackle in the league right now for a first round draft pick. Nah, he can't fix it by himself. No, he can't. That's why the Bengals went out and got a safety and got a linebacker and got a defensive lineman. So they're already working all this stuff out. All the pieces together is what's going to make the Bengals defense a lot better. And I don't think people understand that. The only thing that really had me like in a knot was the fact that people were like, well, why they let Trey Hendrickson go? They let him go and then they overpaid for somebody else. I mean, they play the same position. Stop. First off, they don't play the same position. Trey Hendrickson is basically a run, not a run stopper. He's a pass rusher. That's what he does. Dexter Lawrence has the pass rusher stats, but that's not really his job. His job is to get two or three people to get on him in the middle to free up the linebackers. Learn football, some of you crazy people. That's his job. He does it very well. The last time the Bengals were really, really good defensively, they had people like Geno Atkins. They had people like DJ Reader. People in the middle of the defense that you have to double team. That's really the key to a great defense. You have linemen that you have to either double team or you can't just stop at all. You double team them, you let the other people eat. That's really the job. So I'm excited. I feel like the Bengals overpaid a little bit, but I feel like it's worth it. It's like when people bought the PlayStation 5 at the beginning when they were first selling it, people overpaid for that in the beginning. It was worth it to them. Some people waited because it wasn't worth it for them to buy a PS5 for that much. So people waited. The Bengals are like the people that went to StockX and bought the PS5 for like $800-900. They know they overpaid. they're okay with that because they feel like the return on investment is going to be worth it. And people just don't understand that. Now, if the Bengals get really far into the postseason, these same people out here hating will be like, they really made a great move. Get off our bandwagon, sir slash ma'am. Hop off right now. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait for this season for real. We can skip the draft though. Like, let's just speed past the draft. I mean, there's gonna be so many people like, oh my god, th- this is the best draft ever. They got the best draft. You don't know how it's gonna play out until 3 or 4 years afterwards. I guess people got to make their money somehow, right? I don't know. So normally this would be the part where we'd go ahead and hop on to the movie review, but we're gonna go ahead and put that on a separate part. So y'all go ahead and make sure y'all catch that when it drop. That'll probably drop in a day or two. We'll go ahead and get that recorded, get it out there. It's gonna be a really good one, y'all. I'm excited about that one too. Um, let's review what we talked about. Watch it back in the draft. We're not talking like Kane and Menace to Society. It's not that deep, but like make sure cars don't try to speed in front of you and take your food. All right, like beware. I'm at a loss for words with that one. Um, we'll definitely have more to talk about next week. We're gonna try to record with a little bit more consistency. Summertime is coming up, so that's probably like my most consistent time of the year. It's less stress. It's lazy days and good clean living. So we definitely ready for that. 17 more days into the end of the year, so I just get more excited every single day, and the kids can smell it too. They like, "Are you mad you're not gonna be teaching this summer?" I'm like, "Are you serious? Did you just hear what you said? Listen to what you just said. That's a wild. These kids crazy. I gotta play my music, man. We gotta get up out of here. You already know what it is, y'all. Um, make sure you hit that subscription bell so you can catch the drops as they get more consistent. Um, glad to be back. Hope y'all had a great time. Life is good. Peace out, y'all.